1, 2, 1, 2. Testing, testing, 1, 2. Two, 1, 2. Testing, testing, 1, 2. Radio check, radio check. 1, 2, 1, 2. Radio check. Radio check. 1 2 1 2. Hey everybody, if you're watching on League Racing TV right now, thank you for joining us. We will have a link to giving page on my channel where the mainstream is being broadcast. This is kind of a funnel to try and bring you to the mainstream. I'll try and keep my eye on the live chat for this one, but please head on over to there as soon as you can. Just hit the Webo Red 5 link. And hopefully we'll see you over there in a moment. Welcome, race fans, to the channel here today, and for a very special Le Mans race. We're doing 2.4 hours of Le Mans, 30 laps around this historic French circuit, all in aid of Fight Bladder Cancer. You can see on your screen right now the current gifted total. That will change throughout the course of the race. Hopefully, we will see some more donations. And I very much hope that we will see and hear from you in the live chat here on Webo.com's YouTube channel. Big thanks to JP, to Aero League Racing as well for their sponsorship and their drive that have decided to race today. This is all in aid of a charity very close to JP's heart. Yeah, we're looking forward to seeing how the drivers get on. They're just practicing at the moment, on and off, in and out of the setup here. I'm not sure that everybody's liveries have made their way all the way through, but we'll do our best to have a look at them in close detail. That Audi looks very wrong to me, so I might just see. I might just go ahead and rejoin for a second. Okay, apologies for this. It's very difficult for me to talk and type. So I've done everything I can, and then just this one thing I need to do. So hopefully they will they'll see that and they'll let me head out. We're still waiting on one driver as far as I'm aware. So there's a little trick that I do to try and get everybody's liveries through. I already did this trick, but sometimes it just means I have to do it all over again once I've joined and rejoined. Sometimes it's about how much data people are using that are actually in the race. So we never know exactly. But hello, if you are watching with us today, it's very, very good to have you with us. Please have a look in the description of the video on my channel here today, on this video specifically, for details of how to give, and you'll watch the total rise as we go through today's race. I very much hope so anyway. So we will, yes, be right back with the race. I say 30 laps around the historic, no driver swaps, so that is a full 2.4 hours. That's a pretty long time in the inside of our race cockpits, as you would well imagine, especially anyone who might be in VR. This is quite the endurance. You can see the qualifying results on screen at the moment. BX Royal qualified the fastest, a 4:01, but he will start last. I'm not sure why that is, whether that is just a personal challenge or not, with Brad as Reese and Deco all listed there, as you can see. Well, the drivers are ready to get underway for the race. Thank goodness we are going to be hot to trot then, ready for everybody. We're starting at the traditional Le Mans start time here. Brad is at the start here with a rolling start ahead of Reese, Deco, Bluebeard Goose, Blue Mosquito, JP himself in the green, followed by Cracavelli, Frankie, Jezza, Flying Froome, Lee Cool, BX Royal, and it's drop the clutch and it's go, go, go for our Le Mans race here for Fight Bladder Cancer. Great to see the cars in the French sunshine. Brad leads them in the turquoise down towards the first turn, the Courbe Dunlop, as we head then in towards the chicane of Dunlop now, and the drivers will be taking this one pretty steady at this early stage. I certainly hope so anyway, but we don't want them taking anything steady later on. A big dive down there for BX Royal. He's just absolutely gone for it on the way through here, trying to make moves right from the start, starting on the medium tires. It looks like everybody has to use every type of tire, the soft, medium, and the hards. Lee Call has just had a little bit of understeer, and that has allowed BX Royal to get by him, and will try to get by Flying Froome. BX Royal and Flying Froome, the only drivers who might make it to be a two-time winner of this historic, the 5th running of the Bladder Cancer Le Mans series here, organized by JP. I've been here for a couple of them. I'm very, very pleased to be back right with you there. Number 22 with a prominent Fight Bladder Cancer charity logo on the screen, of course, with Frankie just behind him. Penalty, the first penalty already for track limit abuse goes to Blue Mosquito, racing in the blue, of course, with Goose then in P5, riding the tail of Bluebeard at the moment, who is not in blue. He's in papaya color scheme there in the, excuse me, no, Goose is in the black and papaya. I want to say, no, my mistake again. Here he is. There's actually, Kara's got windscreen wipers on there for a second. Reese is in 3rd, got Deco in 2nd position. Brad is getting away nicely. The Alpha of Deco struggling with top speed. The first run out of the Terre Rouge as they head then through the first main chicane here down on the famous Mulsanne Straight. We continue then. It's Reese alongside of him, Bluebeard, who gets by straight away. Reese has now a 1 second full second penalty to pay on the way out, I believe it is, out of Arnage and through towards the Porsche curves, heading then down into the Mulsanne corner, the Virage de Mulsanne, and passing the golf course on their left as they take a flat out but not straight section on the long run down to one of the trickiest corner sections, which is the approach into Indianapolis and then through Arnage. Bradders leads ahead of Deco, Bluebeard and Reese, and that is the tightest battle on the field at the moment as we continue then down. Side by side goes Reese and Bluebeard. Bluebeard making moves early doors here on the medium tyres. Soft tyres though for Reese, and he's struggling in the Ferrari 296 round the Indianapolis S's into the very slow corner, then a short shoot. Mind that gravel on the outside. Short shoot down to an extremely slow Arnage corner. Expect to see plenty of drama into here throughout the course of our famous race. It is Goose 87 who has got the windscreen wipers on there. Not quite sure what that's about. They will be making a hell of a racket as they continue on. The Mercedes AMG leads the Alpha of Deco with Bluebeard in the Ford GT. All our drivers have chosen different cars for today. That's the Supra of Goose. A famous view there with behind him the Ferrari 296. Then comes the Aston Martin and the Honda NSX of Blue Mosquito, flying through in the blue there with the yellow stripe across the roof. Flying through in the Jag with the BMW of JP and BX Royal already making moves then from the very back of the grid, moving forward then into P10 at this time. Behind him, Lee Cool and Jezza. And I think we've got a couple of drivers. Yeah, the Crackavelli, who's had a struggle through from the start of this race, ended up at the back. Plenty of running left to go, though, of course, as BX Royal going down into the Ford chicane before the Raccordement chicane. BX Royal up already to P8 from P14 at the start of the race. Fantastic start there for BX Royal. Like I say, going for the first two-time winner honors of this fantastic 5th running now of the Fight Bladder Cancer Le Mans 2.4 hours by JP. And as I say, my name is Webbo, and very pleased to be here with you. Do make sure that you take part in today's live stream as much as possible in the live chat as we run through. I know it's a Saturday night, but hopefully you're enjoying a beverage or two with us today as well. Lee Cool then in the 94 is hot on the heels of Flying Froome, who wasn't sure whether his wheel would even connect today. So a couple of drivers who were not particularly clued in prior to the race. They qualified last weekend, so we didn't have an extended qualifying session for this one. Here comes Lee Cool then, hot on the heels as we have a look on board with Lee Cool then. A little cheeky little bump draft from Lee Cool. Behind him, he's got the Porsche of Jezza, but he'll be able to use that double toe here. The Adidas liveried BMW. Oh dear me, that is not a good bump draft. That is a nerf in the back in the braking zone from Lee Cool. Hopefully he can sort that out a little bit. He ended up projecting Flying Froome past JP in that run. Flying Froome with a 1 second penalty once again. Bradders has really suffered, I think, as a result of a time penalty there. No damage on Bradders' car. So I don't think he's come unstuck at all. The Mercedes AMG slow away from the preceding corners. We go 3 wide down towards the second of our famous Mulsanne chicanes here. Several drivers really going for it into the chicane already. I've tried telling them that it's not a race you can win on the first couple of laps, but they're going to go for it regardless. The 22 of JP on the hard tyres, nearly everybody else starting on the mediums. We've got one driver on the softs out there. I think that's Reese in the 296, the white cherry blossom decorated Ferrari 296, the Ford GT of Project Bluebeard there at the rear wing, showing up very nicely as our cars tour around through past the golf course on the left hand side of the driver's view, and then a nice train of drivers coming on through here. Fabulous visuals as they continue through. Blue Mosquito has picked up a 1 second penalty. He will have to pay that after the next series of corners through Indianapolis, and Arnage past the Courbe de Buisson and in towards the Porsche curves. This is where they will find that issue. We've got orange versus orange right now. BX Royal up against Frankie as we head down towards that famous Indianapolis corner. The cars get so twitchy into here. The original NSX for BX Royal. We've got the more modern version of the NSX for one of our other races as they come through. That's a lot of pressure being put on Frankie, and BX Royal makes his way by fantastically there. That was all about the pressure. Let's see if we can check that out again. As we run on, we put ourselves into a wide position, force the driver to defend on the inside. He overcommits to the braking, making the job much easier on the way out. So BX Royal up from the absolute back of the grid to now P5 and only 9.7 seconds away from the lead of the race. Lap 2 of the 30. Bluebeard in 4th, Reese in 3rd, with Goose in front as well. Goose moving up very nicely here in the Toyota Supra, despite the fact that he's got those windscreen wipers, well, single windscreen wiper moving there very quickly across the screen with no moisture in the air whatsoever. The weather is on complete random today, so we will expect to see a full day, night, day transition, as you would expect, of course, in the full 24 hours of Le Mans. But we are condensing that into the 2.4 hours of Le Mans. A long time for the drivers to run here. All orange, all on brand, Fight Bladder Cancer livery for Deco, custom livery for today. So big thank you. He hasn't just chosen the obligatory stickers, but he's gone for it there. So it's fantastic to see the drivers using their creativity. We'll have a look at all their liveries in close detail through the course of the next couple of hours. I don't know if anybody has made use of the Webo stickers that are available in the GT7 sticker box. I'm not sure whether JP has availed himself thereof, but he's in the BMW. Not always a particularly favored car, the BMW. You don't see it very often in GT racing. You do see the Porsche. Here's Jezza in that Porsche, white and black, almost Cadillac-like livery on the Porsche right now. Ahead of them, Blue Mosquito in the Honda NSX. And there is Cracavelli in P12. He's on those medium tires. Beautiful sounding Porsche as it screams past our static position. Here is Flying Froome in the Jag. Golf clubs in the back, naturally. All Jags come with a set of golf clubs. He has changed tires already onto a set of soft tires. Getting out of the traffic, he's 48 seconds away from the driver's from the lead. 14 seconds from the closest car to him. BX Royal with the fastest time on the board so far, a 4:03.694. His qualifying was 2 seconds faster than that. And you've got Deco running at his personal best time through the first half of this third lap. Almost 10% of the race complete already. Deco leads Goose and Reese here for the provisional podium positions. We have Bluebeard in P4. Small gap, 3.8 seconds gap back to Bluebeard, and a closing gap behind him to BX Royal, who fitted those medium tires, as most of the grid did, with the exception of JP out there. We've got Bradders and Frankie. This is Bradders in the turquoise Mercedes AMG, with Frankie in the orange and black Aston Martin. Blue Mosquito in the appropriately coloured Honda NSX behind him. Here is Bladder, struggling really, I think, for top speed and traction out of the slower turns. So unusual to see the Mercedes not able to compete quite so well. He was the second fastest in qualifying, and he was gifted the pole thanks to the starting from the back situation that BX Royal went in. I think BX Royal volunteered to start at the back just for entertainment's sake. Oh, nice little switchback maneuvering going on. Unfortunately, though, Frankie puts himself in the gravel trying to fight here with Bradders, and that makes that change for position most obvious in towards Indianapolis here. And then it's on the brakes, avoiding action. In fact, wasn't even really going for it. Took avoiding action to stop the issue there from actually crashing into the driver in front of BX Royal. No, excuse me, of Lee Cool. Frankie in P7, Blue Mosquito in 8th. Bradders then down to 9th position. I think paying off another penalty here. It's going to have to rein that in. Those penalties are really adding up now for Bradders, unfortunately. Do let me know if you are willing, if you're able to give a small donation to the link in the description today, and watch as the total raises throughout the course of today's race. Perhaps you could sponsor every lap that somebody, your favorite driver, manages to complete. That would be very interesting as well. Let's say £1, euro, dollar. Oh, beautiful overtake there on the way into the Ford chicane. Muscular from Bradders, too muscular perhaps, all out of shape. Blue Mosquito walks straight through the open gap there. So that was great from Blue Mosquito's point of view, just waiting patiently here as Bradders dives down the inside, clear off the circuit on the inside line there. You can see how he's chucking up those penalties. Here comes Blue Mosquito, and there goes Blue Mosquito. Beautiful stuff from him with great patience. Reese pitted on that lap, by the way, off the soft tyres. Reese has come out in P12. He's still in the pits, in fact, not even come out yet. Flying Froome is hot on his heels here, who has also made a pit stop. I don't think Flying Froome will get out in front. He will not. Filling up the tank, though. Hard tyres for this stint from Reese. So he's getting in, settling in for a long stint then at this early stage of proceedings. Really good to see the drivers pushing to this degree. Deco leads on the medium tyres. The tyres giving up to about 30% on the most limited front and rear left tyres. You can see the tyre wear ratios on the bottom left of your screen, the little white and red displays. Red is obviously the used amount of tyre. White is the remaining grip. But really, you don't want to let it get too low at all. Certainly not to full red. And the drivers, you will see them not just fighting bladder cancer, but fighting grip overall as well. Goose looking good through the second chicane, followed by BX Royal, and a penalty given for the GT of Bluebeard. Here comes the unmistakably sounding Supra, followed by the NSX, the AMG of Bradders, the Aston Martin of Frankie, JP in the BMW, not really making a whole lot of noise at all because the BMW is a very quiet car. Even on board, you can hear more mechanical stuff going on with the car, more road textures and things than you can really the engine on board the BMW here. Just a very chill kind of car. Looking back across the rear wing, no decoration on the rear wing, JP, for the livery. Jezza tailing this group. Bradders going for the move down the inside of Frankie once again. Another good overtake. Try and stay out of track limit trouble. Bradders this time, but look at Frankie go on the in the Aston Martin top speed here. Whether Bradders has gone for a really poor top speed setup here. Bradders at about 159. Well, no, the Frankie is looking slightly faster. So I think it's traction for the Aston Martin. There's the Mercedes coming straight back at him with the benefit of the slipstream, of course. Bradders straight down the inside in towards Indianapolis. This is going to be tricky braking if you're not on the optimal line coming through there. So they continue through. And it is half a second given to Frankie, half a second to Bradders. That should allow JP to at least close in on one of them. We'll see as they pass the past that penalty point there. I think those penalties come a little bit late, possibly. Certainly for Bradders, came a bit late in the day for JP to take advantage of. But JP's tyres started on those hard tyres on the rolling start in the M6 GT3. His tyres will now be better than most everybody else's who haven't already stopped. The medium tyres in front will start to drop some of their ultimate grip as JP is leaning on that outside wall through the Virage du Pont and the Airsis du Karting, passing the Maison Blanche, the White House, of course, and heading then down towards the Ford chicane. As we continue then down in towards the big stops at the bottom, at the end of the track. That's the pit lane entry on the right-hand side of the cars. Try and keep two wheels on the black stuff if you can on the official racetrack. This is the this is our Raccourement chicane, and then JP with a really good run out and in towards the Dunlop section. He will go side by side, even though it's a Michelin bridge above a big, massive Michelin sign above the corner. It is the Dunlop section here. But at the moment, Frankie hanging on very nicely. Jezza has closed right in. These cars, though, some 28 seconds away from the outright lead of the race at this point. We're in towards the afternoon sun glinting off our cars as we will go into full night conditions naturally. We don't know if we were going to get any moisture either to race with. Of course, moisture is fully available on this circuit. Reese just over the track limit there. Hopefully he avoided using full throttle through there. Looks like he's gotten away with that one. Goose leads at this stage on lap 5 ahead of BX Royal and Bluebeard. BX Royal from the back is now in second position in his original Honda NSX. Out there looking amazing. Bluebeard in P3. Let's have a quick check of how things changed after qualifying. You can see it hasn't been a great start for the top 3 in qualifying. Obviously, BX Royal started from the back. Bradders has dropped back significantly. Reese down to 3rd. Deco, the only one who's really anywhere near the lead of the race outright. This is Bluebeard. Started 5th. Goose started 6th. Is currently leading the race. Moncon, I believe, has not been able to race with us. Hasn't been able to join the lobby in time. I think Bradders ahead of Blue Mosquito. Blue Mosquito starting 8th place. Is currently 7th. Some drivers have pitted at this point, though. Bradders qualifying in that 2nd place and unable to really capitalize on that qualifying pace outright. There's Frankie and JP. JP, the organizer, of course, as he gets ahead of Frankie now, as it really should have been when it comes as part of the qualifying. Legal qualifying, not qualifying at all, I believe. Neither did HK, Jezza, or Flying Froome. Just showing up to race today without qualifying, but hasn't made the biggest amount of difference in the world, has it? The qualifying session, as the drivers' true race pace gets revealed very, very early, of course, in a long race stint such as this. This is Frankie in the orange Aston Martin, the white and black Porsche behind of him, of Jezza, chasing down the bright green Adidas sponsored JP. As JP holding firm at the moment. There might have been a tiny touch of contact there between the racers. Frankie out of shape. Jezza going around the outside there. Let's have a second check of that one, shall we? Looked like a puff of smoke from one of the tyres. Was it into here? Oh, it was into here. Ended up nerfing JP forwards, and then Jezza finding his way by very, very smoothly and calmly. If that hasn't helped Frankie at all, dropping way back right now. JP has been passed by Jezza. JP rocking, I believe, the Jensen Button McLaren era helmet. I'll just try and zoom in on that. That's what it looks like to me. It is indeed. Nice one, JP. We have similar taste in drivers if that's the case. Jezza in 8th. Bradders in the bright turquoise behind the fully blue Mosquito in front of him. Honda NSX, the modern version of the Honda NSX. Lee Cool in the Skechers Audi. I do also really like the sound of the Audi here in GT7. such a great resonance off the twin exhausts coming out there. Deco on the medium tyres was at the front of the race for some time, but I think spent too much out of his tyres early doors. His personal best of 404.141, BX Royal of 402.678. That hasn't improved since, I think, lap 3 from BX Royal. Again, firm sign that the tyres are fading off. This is the Ayrton Senna inspired and partially designed and engineered Honda NSX. Fabulous machine, the NSX. True racing thoroughbred. And the Supra is not bad in that department either. The 87 of Goose. It's got a mean-looking goose sticker on the rear of the car as well, just in case anybody gets too close. Goose then in the black and pink for the Fight Bladder Cancer charity that we are supporting today, of course. Helicopter just passing overhead. Just get a good idea of the distances between drivers here. Currently, Bluebeard is 10.5 seconds away from the outright lead of the race. 8.5 seconds further back from him is Deco, former leader in the Alfa Romeo 4C. Behind of him, the Audi R8 GT3 of Lee Cool here. We've got Blue Mosquito, 27 seconds off the lead. A little bit of no man's land for him at the moment as Jezza is unlocking some pace in the Porsche. 34 seconds from the lead. JP started on those hard tyres, will gain ground when the driver's in front of him, pit earlier. And we've got Frankie in P9. I would imagine that, well, we're running through the fuel, something chronic right now. I'm not sure that JP will be able to use all of his tyres before his fuel runs out. Quite aggressive on the fuel count here so far. A big reminder to everybody to give something. Even if you're only here just for a few minutes, please make sure you go ahead and give something. Put your name in the live chat if you want to, as you donate and watch the total rise. That's my hope anyway, is that we will crack a really, really good gifting donation this 5th year of the 2.4 hours of Le Mans. We've got Reese in 11th position. Brad is in 12th, flying Froome at the back on another new set of medium tyres. He's now 1 minute 36 off the lead of the race, really going through his tyres here in the Jaguar. Leading the race, Goose, by 1.4 seconds from BX Royal, who started at the back. Hi to Eli. Good to see you, Captain Eli. Thank you for joining us here on a Saturday. We've got a fabulous charity stream for you today. So, yeah, anything that anyone can give, please do so. BX Royal, another purple sector as he heads into the Porsche curves now. And now the S is still karting center on the right-hand side of the track. Around simple right and left before heading into past the Maison Blanche and down towards the Ford chicane. No, we're heading straight into the pit lane. End of lap 6 here for the medium tire runners. What will Bluebeard do? Will he target those 6 laps on the tires? He won't. Teasing us there for a second. Deco is in the red in his fuel. That means he's got 20% of his fuel left or less. I want to say it's actually 10%. But how about this from Blue Mosquito? Started on the medium tires on the NSX, has used a lot less fuel than anybody else. So Eli's saying these guys are warming up for next week. Yeah, this is a lot of these drivers will be from Aero League Racing, ALR, friends of JP, qualifying for this. And as you say, warming up for a full-on 12-hour race with lobby share, I'm assuming, or car share. Not quite sure how you're organizing that one. I used to do some 24-hour races on GT7 with the International Racing Organization. We'd have 2 parallel streams running, essentially 2 parallel lobbies at any given time. That's one way of doing it. Other than that, you can drop out and rejoin. Is another way of going about it. One of the most requested things for GT7 is that we have more cars and shared stint ability here, so we can co-drive with others. It would be, if we could have a 24 to 30 car field, mixed class potentially even. With that, do they have downforce tune on? I believe they do have downforce tuning. Yeah, I think that the tuning is available to the drivers to one degree or another. I'm not entirely sure exactly how much they can change the car, but we are seeing some quite big differences in top speed from our racers so far that are not necessarily explained by our pure difference between the cars and the balance of performance. I'm allowed to say that while we're in Le Mans. The World Endurance Championship drivers aren't allowed to mention that, or the engineers, or the team bosses. Bluebeard leads us, having saved fuel in his Ford GT, which you don't often hear that, but here he is. Another fantastic sounding GT3 car here, the Ford GT. Looks very, very nice inside as well. Let's go join the gyro cam as we head through Arnage corner. Yeah, very cool. Very cool car with a little video feed rear view as well. Drivers all have different views of life from the cockpit. I don't know how many drivers are in VR. There's nobody who's actually put VR in their gamer tag here today. But yeah, it would be a long stint for a VR driver for sure. Here's Blue Mosquito. BX Royal still with the fastest lap of the race so far, a 4:02.678 set on medium tyres while coming through the field. Blue Mosquito in P2. Jezza in third position, definitely heading towards the pit road. These two drivers, I think Bluebeard will be as well. Yeah, definitely. But they have been able to go that little bit longer in towards the second fifth of the race. If we're dividing things neatly, then a 6-lap stint potentially might be what they're looking at for a medium tyre, 6 to 7 lap stint. It's quite a big difference between running a whole lap here. So if you can save, then the drivers will do so. Goose and BX Royal, kind of your net leaders here at this time with the amount of time it takes to refuel. They should be back in the lead when the top three at the moment, Bluebeard, Blue Mosquito and Jezza, have served their pit stops. BX Royal in P4. Goose in fifth. Reese, who was near the back at one point today, switched onto the hard tyres before anybody else. BX Royal and Goose have gone for the mediums again. Drivers are required to use every tyre. Yeah, the old NSX, absolutely. We are loving the simplicity. Let's go on board with the the old school Alcantara equipped proper steering wheel, little toggle switches on the dash as well. Absolutely love it. Fabulous fabulous view of life there from the very first model NSX, and looking out the rear as well. Very cool indeed, and a sympathetic livery as well for BX Royal. On the Hankook tires he's gone for, it seems, as well. Yokohama's for Goose. In come the trailing drivers who were in the lead. We've now got Bluebeard, Blue Mosquito, Jezza all in the pit lane. Let's have a look at Lee Cool, who's already made his pit stop. Coming through the final couple chicanes here, the Ford chicane, the Recordement chicane. There's Deco and Reese, the first driver to switch onto those hard tyres. So he will be the first to come off them again, I would imagine. Has used the soft tyres. Blue Mosquito refueling, as is Jezza. JP in a little bit earlier than the drivers we were just looking at in the pits. The super quiet BMW. Really annoying how quiet that BMW is. And then you got the throaty Jaguar on the way out of the final Recordement chicane. Flying Froome, excuse me. Froome being the village in Somerset that Jenson Button hails from. P11 right now, 50.6 seconds off the lead. Certainly seemed to arrive somewhat unprepared. Didn't quite know. I don't know if he was trolling the chat here at all. But he didn't seem to quite know what time we were racing, whether his wheel would connect. So yes, I think he might be one of those drivers who've left GT7 behind for pastures new, and is coming back to race with us. He's a former race winner here at the 2.4 hours of Le Mans for Fight Bladder Cancer. Cracavelli, driver who I have not commentated over before, looks to be an ALR NASCAR driver by the look of the rear windscreen there. You can see. Likes his Nike Air Jordans as well. 00 is the Porsche. So yeah, obviously very, very loyal to the league, which is good to see. I used to commentate for ALR back in the day. So fond memories of my time with them. I know several of the drivers who are racing today, but many of them are new to me. There's a nice look at the orange 787 Aston Martin here of Frankie. And then BX Royal is now in the lead of the race. Remember, he started at the absolute back of the race, managed to undercut Goose with a short fueling. Certainly less fuel on board. I think both drivers have gone for a short fuel for the medium tyre stint here, potentially. Certainly that looks like they have worn through that fuel really rather quickly, but we shall see. I'll just check out where Deco is. It's about a level with Deco, but I think they stopped a lap later, did our leaders. BX Royal picking up a half-second penalty as he runs over our camera position. So he'll just be paying that off now. That's half a second off throttle, not a half-second total penalty. It costs you way more because of the loss of momentum. And they usually give them on the start of long straights. Lap 8 of the 30. BX Royal leads after starting from the back, although he was the fastest in qualifying. Goose in second and Bluebeard in third position. There you can see the qualifying results on your screen in that order as well. So BX Royal back where his qualifying suggested he belongs. So yes, if you are watching live with us, do say hello in the live chat. Tell me that you're about to donate, and we'll see the total head upward. Hopefully we can push £2,000, and that would be an absolute dream for the 5th running here of the 2.4 hours of Le Mans for the Fight Bladder Cancer, the UK relatively underfunded charity. So your money goes a very long way for a certainly an underfunded disease as well, bladder cancer. Here is Bluebeard coming through the Raccourement chicane and across the line then to start his lap 9. Bluebeard. We're racking through those laps very quickly here. Lecool is in P4. He's on the mediums, as is Deco behind. Deco on these drivers on their second sets of mediums, by the way. And they have dropped almost 25 seconds to BX Royal, who leads us. Don't forget, this is endurance racing, though. Anything could happen in terms of, unfortunately, we get disconnections, we get drama, we get crashes, we get rain, all things that we're expecting to see through the course of today. I've got a 1 in 13 chance of catching any given crash or issue most of the time here. Then you've got Reese in 8th, JP in 9th in the 22. Switched on to the mediums, started on the hard tyres. So be enjoying our personal best couple of laps here. 4:06, lap 8. Looking like a personal best potentially from this lap as well. Got Jezza in 10th, Flying Froome in 11th place. Does like picking up those track limit penalties, unfortunately. You've got Cracavelli, P12, and Frankie at the back in the Aston Martin. He's creased up the front of that Aston Martin quite considerably, unfortunately. But yes, warming up for, I believe it is next week's Le Mans race. BX Royal leads by 5.2 seconds, and that's what 5.2 seconds looks like down the Mulsanne straight. Absolutely frightening how quickly the cars can pass by in 5.2 seconds, how much track they can cover And there you have it. Another fastest sector then from BX Royal. Stay with him because he's clearly pushing hard. Currently got, I would say, approaching half a lap in terms of distance between first and last right now. Last position driver just going through the first chicane down the Mulsanne straight. BX Royal heading into Indianapolis here. The right-hander braking zone for the left-hand sharp bend with the gravel on the outside. Then short squirt down into this heavy braking zone for Arnage, where drivers will frequently push the limit. There's a wall on the outside there you almost come into contact with. BX Royal still on a purple lap, although the advantage has been dropping. Get an update as he approaches turn 2 of the Porsche curves. Turn 1 is coming up to the right about now. Really fast entry there, 125 miles an hour on its way into that point of the circuit. There's your update. Now his gain time through there, 1.2 seconds faster than he's been. He's knocking on the door of his pole position time, which was a 401.826 BX Royal. 401.826, and he's almost there already. Heading down into the chicanes now to finish out the lap. Catching the curbs really nicely. Hard on the throttle, and that's a brand new one, a 401.650. He has made his pole position time here with half a tank of fuel on, no less, and used mediums. BX Royal flying in the golden hour as the sun starts to set around the famous Le Mans circuit. Goose in the Supra set a 403.2 personal best on lap 8. He's extending his advantage over Bluebeard's GT4 GT, but we've got some great running here. Bluebeard in 3rd, Lee Cool in 4th, and Deco in 5th position. I think, Bluebeard dropping back partly down to his choice of the hard tyres for this stint. All the drivers will need to use all 3 compounds, it would seem. I'm not sure why they would use the softs if they didn't have to. Skechers Monster 94 livery for Lee Cool. Deco in the all orange Fight Bladder Cancer colors. The headlights just coming on now. We are getting into some low lit conditions. Let's join Deco on board, see how that's looking. Currently we are heading due south just about. So we will see the sunset quite remarkably quickly. We've got some action happening ahead as Lee Cool going to put a pass here on Bluebeard as he is hard on the throttle. The Assetto Corsa Competizione logo on the air inlet there for the Audi R8. Side by side, Bluebeard taking absolutely no prisoners, not putting up with anything here, but he will struggle off the slower corners to get the grip down on those rear tires. He's on the hard tires. Lee Cool right now on the mediums. Excuse me. Lee Cool in the Audi, drawing alongside here. Beautiful positioning from the camera there on this chase rabbit cam down the Mulsanne straight towards the second chicane. Lee Cool's got the inside line this time and should be able to lean on those tires a little bit with more confidence. Does so. Lee Cool into 3rd place now. On lap 10, we are 1/3 of the way through this fabulous race. We have Bluebeard in 4th and we have Deco in 5th. BX Royal leads though. Goose in 2nd place after 10 laps here at the 2.4 hours of Le Mans. Underneath the Total adverts there above the track. Brad is in 6th. Blue Mosquito in 7th, chasing him down. Let's just go back to this 3-way battle. While it's a 3-way battle, we'll enjoy it as Deco follows through in the Cheeto Orange Alfa Romeo 4C. Beautiful setting sun here as we head now due west. How is that? Oh, that's fantastic, isn't it? Absolutely brilliant to see that that setting sun directly in front of the driver's angle there. The sun will drop behind the trees. Deco just offline, running in possibly to the back of Bluebeard. Not for the first time we've seen that today. Very nice detailed livery there from Bluebeard. We'll have a look at that closely perhaps when we get to daybreak. We'll have a look at all the liveries. There's the famous Porsche sign. I once got asked by some drivers I was practicing with, which ones are the Porsche curves? And I had to say, well, just look up and you'll soon find out. Deco in 5th has just dropped back from this battle as Bluebeard was passed by Lee Cool. And yeah, Deco struggling to keep up. Bluebeard on the hard tyres has more fuel than the drivers who stopped on the mediums. So drivers at the start of the race on 100 litres of fuel got 6 laps out of the medium tyres. We shall see if they do something similar or actually are splitting the race a little bit smaller on the mediums until they can get onto the hard tyres. Obviously, it's a struggle, the hard tyres on warm-up. So if you can get rid of the hard tyres, I think while you've got daytime temperatures on the track, that's probably the smarter choice. The mediums will go longer in the night because the track is cooler. We will probably see the majority of the race being run on the medium tyres from our racers here today. Here's Deco. Here's Blue Mosquito, who's come in off the soft tyres now, just as the sun starts to pass by. If we get too dark to see the cars, I will turn the driver names on above the cars. Don't worry, you won't no longer be able to see who everybody is. I quite like running the race like this without those indicators for as much as we can. It's my personal preference, I guess. Personal best though for Deco on that start of the lap as they come round the Tertre Rouge and starting down this long straightaway, sort of a pinky purpley sunset for the drivers to contend with here. That's a really nice upfront look with the blue lights between the bodywork sections on the GT. And when they're off throttle, the blue flames licking out the side exhausts just in front of the rear tyres there. Just checking in on the drivers at the front. BX Royal leads by 6.9 now, 7 seconds. His ultimate fastest is faster than his pole position time. They are wearing through the fuel at quite an advanced rate here. BX Royal and Goose, they did stop earlier, 1 lap earlier than Lee Cool, Bluebeard, Deco. They all started on the mediums, so putting in a really good stint so far. Now you got the headlights very much at full beam. Let's ride with one of our racers, shall we? This is on board the Ford GT of Bluebeard. See all the race car paraphernalia, some cool details about wiring, the wiring looms, some anti-roll bar adjusters, almost a stream deck in front of the driver there, button box, all of his controls. Beautiful sounding engine running through the gears here. We wait to see the nighttime conditions join. We've got that blue strip down the split in the windscreen. I don't really know what it's about, but it's there. I would have thought that that's quite off-putting for the drivers. You can see just the sort of the crowning of the road, the public roads here at Le Mans, for the most part anyway, apart from the very end of the circuit in the Bugatti circuit section, the bit that runs from the Virage de Recordement through to Descent de la Chapelle before Tertre Rouge. That is part of the permanent Bugatti test circuit in Le Mans. You see the headlights of the car behind here as well. No mixed classes, of course, for the drivers to contend with over the course of this shorter race by 10% of the full race distance, of course. We'll be all glued to Le Mans later in the month of June. Do let me know who you are likely to be supporting. I was very happy to see Kubica and of course the team win last year. I wonder if it's anyone else's turn this year to take the outright victory, but I'm always going to support AO Racing USA as well. The cars that field Spike, I think they've got the new Pegasus called Sam, and Rexy and Roxy. So I'm always going to be supporting them. I'd love to see it. There's a new hydrogen-powered Toyota this year in the Garage 57 entry. Should be very, very interesting to enjoy as well. Full night conditions then. This is the main racetrack portion that is floodlit. Then, of course, we will head into those public roads to the right. The cars would normally turn to the right there over onto the Bugatti circuit. They're going to carry on onto the public roads then very shortly. And I think it's about time we went ahead and put those driver display names over the cars so we can see where everybody is. That's Deco then at the tail of this run, as he has been for some time. Bradder's pits on lap 12. So he's gone, I think, 6 laps and 6 laps with his fuel and tyre management. And then we've got absolutely no hope at this section of checking out any liveries. Let's go on board then with Deco in that 5th place. PX Royal still leads the race ahead of Goose, as things were earlier on. They are 32 seconds further up the road here. Bluebeard going for the move. Let's join Bluebeard in the Ford GT there. Couldn't quite get the move done. We may see some bump running, bump drafting, where the drivers just rest the front of their car up against the rear of the car in front, and they effectively punch a joint hole in the air and use the benefit of 2 engines to catapult themselves forward. You have to time your bump draft really, really well to make the most of it, but certainly not in the braking zone. You can save a bit of fuel then in the braking zone, lift and coast Lyco into the corners. And that will all pay dividends if you can save a lap of fuel or just save a bit of time stationary in the pit stop. It's not just saving entire laps that fuel saving brings a benefit. Every litre you have to put in the car while stationary costs you time, of course, that you're not moving forward in the race. Bluebeard in P4, following Leakle in 3rd position. Ahead of them, we've got Goose and BX Royal. Leakle not necessarily covering the inside there on the way into Mulsanne corner at the end of the Mulsanne straight, the southernmost tip of our racetrack. Now they're heading into a headwind of 4.7 meters per second. That will really help the following cars, of course, because of that aerodynamic efficiency of the car in front of them will be breaking up the air coming towards them. Tailwinds make the cars feel very light going into corners, and headwinds make them feel like they're on rails, and side winds and gusting winds are an absolute nightmare, especially through the faster stuff. This is one of the slower corners though, Indianapolis, and then in towards Arnage. Deco in P5, following hot on the heels of Bluebeard. I hope everyone watching is excited for Le Mans this season, this year. Lee Cool taking a penalty there, so he drops back. Bluebeard getting by comfortably. There's Deco, hard on the throttle. Might even be able to draw alongside here before they hit the Porsche curves. Oh, it's close for Deco and Lee Cool. The Alfa Romeo 4C that Deco is driving, a really nice race car. Used to be what we call the meta car, the chosen GT3 car. Now it's more likely to be one of the French machines, the Peugeot RCZ or the Megane Trophy by Renault. But thankfully, no French cars in the race today. So Bluebeard in 3rd. BX Royal and Goose are in, though, at the end of lap 12. So they are doing 6-lap stints on the medium tyres. Bluebeard goes by Leakle, Pitts and Deco. So they've had to come in a lap earlier, I think, perhaps than they were planning to run, or at least they short-fueled here. So running a 7 and then a 5-lap stint, I believe. This is Bluebeard, your new race leader on lap 13, as other drivers pit around him. He elected for those hard tyres. So the drivers will come out of the pits. They will now start to catch Bluebeard. We've got JP, who is on his second set of tyres, hasn't been able to get any deeper into the race than the drivers who have only used the mediums. So I don't know if his fuel management has been such that he's had to swallow that difficult situation. We've got Blue Mosquito, doesn't need to refuel. Ignore that red text on the screen. It's a long-standing issue that could be addressed day one of development from Polyphony Digital, but we've had to live with it for years, way back in the GT Sport days as spectators. Frankie EX, I think I was actually commentating for ALR during the GT Sport days initially. Crackavelli in 13th, flying through into the pits in P9. Crackavelli can still see Frankie up ahead, flashing the lights. Crackavelli, not quite sure what that's about. Sometimes a controller driver has that keyed to their steering stick. I don't imagine Crackavelli is a controller driver. He is sort of, he might well be actually looking at it. Either he's got a lot of lag on the car or he is a controller driver, because there's a lot of slightly jerky steering inputs that you don't tend to see in a wheel driver. Bluebeard leads the race by 22 seconds almost, heading towards the second chicane down the Mulsanne straight now. Lap 13 of the 30. I can't believe we're already nearly at halfway distance. Please consider giving a financial gift to the cause today. We've already raised £1,700 for Fight Bladder Cancer, but we are looking for more. So if you are just with us for a few minutes and you're inspired here to give whatever you can to the cause, please do so. The link is in the description of the video today. We'll be very grateful for any money that we can raise. I'm sure you can gift in any currency as well. It's a just giving link, if I remember correctly. So I'm sure there are ways to donate internationally. P3 is Goose. BX Royal is in second place in that classic NSX. You won't really be able to make much of it at the moment. Goose in the Supra with the yellow headlights. And then back to a bunch of yellow headlit cars. We've got Jezza in P4. See, in the World Endurance Championship and in the International GT Championship, white headlights denote the GT3 cars and yellow the GT4s. I think that is still true of Le Mans and the World Endurance Championship, but certainly the International GT Challenge. It's much easier to tell the different class of GT cars apart because of those differences in headlight colors. And we don't have, of course, any of the prototype machineries, the LMP1, LMP2s, LMDH as they are now. Hypercars. Deco in 6th, Lee Call in 5th. Just dropping back to see Blue Mosquito, who is having a very lonely race at this stage. Fairly new medium tires for Blue Mosquito. Brad is in 8th. JP in 9th position. Waiting for the race to really come to JP here. He's used all 3 types of tires. Now I'm going to use the soft tires in these cooler night conditions. Now, will that be a smart move? I would say he's probably put too much fuel on for a soft tire stint. But it will all equalize in the end, but you won't get your absolute maximum pace. There's Flying Froome heading under the Rolex sign with Reese some 13 seconds further back from him. Frankie in the orange and black Aston Martin on those medium tires, slightly metallic paint scheme there, heading into Mulsanne. And there is the Porsche Flat 6 Crackavelli. Beautiful sounding. Here is Bluebeard leading the race though, and the first sector of lap 14. Bluebeard checking out those bollards that are handily placed, just kicking up a little bit of dirt. This is a super important corner, Turret Rouge. I need to get down on the power as quickly as possible through that turn. Compromise your entry a little bit for the ultimate VMAX before heading onto the brakes down into the first chicane. On board here with Bluebeard. Imagine he'll be racing this cockpit letterbox view. If you're in VR, it feels a lot more like this, only of course in the driver's seat rather than the passenger seat. A lot of head movement, a lot of body roll as we head through. Cars are stiffly sprung, but they are still based on road-going models. So they still do pitch and yaw much more than a Formula car would. Bluebeard leading by a reducing gap now to BX Royal. Bluebeard using the hard tyres for his second stint. Oh, he was a little bit early on the brakes there, just confusing his braking points. Very understandable in these conditions. Can't always see your marker boards. They're up at sort of, I guess, lamppost height, street light height. On the way into these chicanes, you look for blue and white patterns, but they're really difficult to tell the numbers apart. There is your 300, 200, and 100. Very late on the brakes in towards Mulsanne, and then utilizing the grip on the way out there. Actually holding on to a decent amount of speed on this lap, considering that he's on the hard tires in the dead of night. We don't have an indicator of race time, but we will be going back into daybreak for a full 24-hour day-night cycle here. Bluebeard P1 by 18 seconds. He has not pitted on the same cadence as BX Royal and Goose. He went onto the hard tyres. BX Royal and Goose have yet to use the hard tyres. Might be saving that for the daytime running later on, when they won't cool to too much of a degree. A 4:29.7 for the outlap for BX Royal. I don't imagine we're going to be troubling the fastest lap count yet on this run, because we have, of course, cooler nighttime conditions. What a sound of the Honda NSX passing the camera position there. Let's just go directly behind, catch all the exhaust notes here. Lap 14 of the 30. You could listen to that all day. In towards Porsche curves now. Right, then left, left, before heading right, left again. Gets so close to the wall through here. So easy to run wide. Forget where you are on these confusing sections of track. That is so close to track limits there from BX Royal. Bluebeard finally pits then with 5 litres of fuel left in the car. Expecting BX Royal from the medium tyres in around lap 18. And he's about to take the lead of the race again, BX Royal. So we pass by the pit lane and pit wall and the grandstands there. On the podium, he hopes to be standing on top, being the first 2-time winner of this great race. BX Royal in the Honda NSX, late 80s, early 90s spec Honda NSX. Bluebeard in the pits, Jezza in the pits as well, who went down to 3 litres of fuel. Goose back to second. Goose on the mediums, just like BX Royal. Similar strategies so far from these two drivers, which is great to see. Deco, Lee in 4th and 3rd positions respectively. They both passed Bluebeard as well. Here comes Bluebeard out of the pit lane. I have seen some terrible pit lane accidents when it's raining here at Le Mans. So I don't know if we are likely to get any weather. I know that all the weather tyres were listed as random. So there's a strong chance that we get some rain, even though it's June in northern France. Heading over our low down camera position there. Blue Mosquito in the NSX, currently on his 15th racing lap around this Le Mans circuit. Very deep toned sound of the Mercedes, followed by the silent BMW of JP. This is JP on board with him. He's the organizer of the race today. The man with the big reason to support the Bladder Cancer charity. And he is always overjoyed at the money we can raise. I'd love it if we can raise that total during the course of today's race, if you will. My time is given to this. I'm not taking any race fee, and that's part of my donation to the charitable cause, of course. Making sure that we funnel absolutely every bit of revenue possible into today's race. Just an annual, almost annual, I think we've missed a year, but almost annual celebration and money raising opportunity here. Great to have sim racers united over good causes. So much that divides sim racers over time. It's just great to have that available as well as an option. Bradders then in the Mercedes AMG does appear to be struggling for that top speed. He's dropping about 5 miles an hour by the time they reach the end of these straights to the following cars. Yes, they're picking up a tow, but I think that is still a little bit more of a speed deficit than would be explained purely by the tow. Certainly JP getting a really good run here. Really happy to have so many people watching right now. I'd love it even more if you would contribute to the live chat. There's JP with an overtake on the way into Mulsanne. That's an unusual one. Bears a second watch if you can hang on to it right now. I think you can. Here comes JP then. Good slipstream. Declines the bump draft opportunity here, JP. And then we're offline slightly on the way in. Just a slight adjustment to his line on the way into Indianapolis here. Sorry, into Mulsanne. And it's the double right-hand turn of the Mulsanne approach and turn that one eventuated. Briders now able to use a little bit of the top speed of the car in front of him. Now we're into Indianapolis. No idea why it's called that. I know that Daytona has the Le Mans bus stop, I think it is, but Indianapolis don't tend to return the favor on a 4-turn square oval. JP leads us. P7 leads this group. P7 for JP ahead of Bradders and Flying Froome back in 9th place. BX still leads the race ahead of Goose and Lee Cool. We've got Bluebeard in 5th and Blue Mosquito in 6th place. Underneath the Michelin sign, they go. Marbles now really being scattered offline here, serving as a bit of a warning to our drivers not to transgress out wide on those fast turns. You'll be a very quick route to the scenery if you do. Into the pit lane comes JP then. He just used those soft tires, just used half a tank of the fuel on the soft tires. And now he needs to refuel again. So didn't get the absolute max out of that stint in terms of ultimate speed, but he has saved a bit of stationary time now in the pit lane. I thought it was white and black. It's more of a very light silver and black Adidas sponsored Porsche here of Jezza. Waiting, of course, for daybreak. It is frighteningly bright in the pit lane for our mechanics to service the cars. Reese in 11th, Frankie in 12th place, and Crackavelli in P13. There is BX Royal then leading us. What I might try and do, I might try and join the live radio. Now we're just passing over into the halfway period of the race, and it's hard to see everything on track. I'm going to give it a go here and try and join in with the live chat. So bear with me. I will try and set that up for you, and that will be great to enjoy. So I will just go quiet on the live stream for a second, and we'll see if I can get myself into the race chat room. Hey drivers, this is Webbo, the commentator. You are live on the stream right now, so do your best not to cuss and sweat while we quickly have a catch up with you all. Congratulations for a nice clean race so far. It's been fantastic to watch BX Royal leading from the back of the grid. How you getting on out there? Very nice. Sorry to talk to you in the Porsche curves. Excellent. Some great pace out there. I think you've beat position time of 401.650 already. How low can you go? Can you get sub 4 minutes, do you think? Awesome. Well, yeah, good luck with that. Yeah, very impressive so far. 17-second the lead out there. Let's check in with Goose. Goose playing wingman at the moment, it seems. Goose, how's it going for you? It's tricky. Certainly tricky in the night conditions anyway, with those painted track limits. It's hard to see the difference. But how's the car handling over the course of a stint? Is it getting loose towards the end? Doing a great job at the moment. Fastest so far of a 403.2. Can you get yourself into the 402s, do you think, before the end of the race? Excellent. Well, keeping BX Royal honest at least for a while, but you're in a bit of no man's land at the moment. How are you staying focused without people chatting to you all the time in the radio? Getting into the zone. Yeah. Good stuff. Nice. Keep at it. Keep at it. You never know what's going to happen. We might get weather. We might get disconnections, mechanicals. So yeah, keep at it. Thanks for chatting. Lee Cool, I'm going to speak to you. It's P3 at the moment. Very successful first half of the race, Lee. No problem. Yes, I'm trying to stay as level as I can. But yeah, how's it going so far, Lee? Absolutely, yeah. We're hoping for some rain here too on the stream, but who knows whether whether that will favour anybody. It's a beautiful sounding alley, if for nothing else, even if it's a bit of a nightmare to handle. um, Super stuff. Yeah, I look forward to that one. Well, good luck for the rest of the race, Lee. Let's check in with Deco. Deco, you've been following other drivers for quite a large proportion of the race. You haven't really let anybody get away from you. How's the car? How's that 4C handling through the chicanes here at Le Mans? Come in, Deco. Not with us in driver chat, I believe, unfortunately. He's fully focused anyway on chasing down Lee. Let's have a chat then with Bluebeard. Bluebeard, the Ford GT, an interesting choice here. Looks like you're enjoying it though. It's a very smart livery as well. It's pitch black right now. We can't really see it, but we'll have a look at it. We just see those blue bodywork lights right now, which look really cool. But yeah, it really does. Can you see it through your wing mirrors? I imagine you probably can a little bit. Okay, so we'll switch to bumper cam then for the effect while we talk to you. Excellent stuff. Yeah, it's been a really interesting race so far. You seem to be extending your stints a little bit. All part of the strategy, I'm sure. Well, I mean, it's endurance racing, so it's not all about the pace. It's just about consistency and being there at the end, right? So, yeah, all the best to you. Good to see the Ford GT out there for sure. Blue Mosquito, great time to talk to you. Headed into the pit lane, I see, off your medium tires, taking that one down to the wire. Just 2 litres left on the car. Right. Well, at least the steering wheel's on the right side, the correct side of the car. Awesome. Just annoying everybody like the mosquito that you are. Fuel going in right now. How do you fancy your chances then? You think you can hang on to 9th, maybe challenge for 8th or 7th? Well, keep pushing. And yeah, we've got plenty of flies on that windscreen by the look of it when we just saw coming through. So we need to get that cleaned off by the mechanics. It looks great from the trackside cameras. I see all those details. When I get in the driver cam for the drivers, you can't see it on the windshield. It's really, really annoying. It'd be cool. Anyway, good luck to you. I'm gonna head over to the quietest car on the grid. Come in, JP. Good to see you. If we can't necessarily hear you in that BMW. It's good stuff. There's plenty of action earlier on as well. In sort of around lap 12, 13, you seem to have your hands full with lots of drivers around you. How was the BMW handling in the wake of other cars and making passes? Awesome. I was interested to see you put a full tank of fuel on with soft tires. Talk to me about that combination. Why not short fuel? Right. Absolutely. Current total is looking at £1,700, JP, for the event. So I'm trying to encourage some gifting live, but the link is there in the description if anyone does want to give while you're live and actually watch the total go up. Yeah, of course. Yes, it's JP's organised race, so good to have everybody here. BX Royal, and we've got Flying Froome, who are both going to be trying to be the second time winner of this 5th running of the 2.4 hours of Le Mans. JP, I'm going to let you concentrate. We'll go and try and get hold of Reese, I think. Come in, Reese. Are you with us? Excellent. Well, you are obviously having a lot of fun in the 296, but the start didn't seem to go to plan today. Yeah. Absolutely, absolutely. What are you doing to keep yourself motivated? Are you monitoring the gaps at this point? Are you hoping to stay on the lead lap, something like that? Good, good. Okay. Nice. What's on the playlist while you're racing today? Or do you not want to say? Okay. Anyway, what I haven't asked anybody yet, are you keeping an eye on the weather? Is there any weather likely to roll in? Ah. Well, let's fingers crossed for the end of the race. But it's lap 18 of the 30. Reese, keep at it. You never quite know. Two cars in front of you now pitting, Bradders and Flying Froome. So they're both in. So good to see that happening. We've got I don't think I've got Frankie in the race radio right now. Yes, I have got Frankie here in the race radio. He is on mute though, so he may not be able to unmute himself. We'll give him a chance to try and turn that on and speak to Frankie if we can. Come in, Frankie, you with us? No, on mute. No problem at all. I understand it when drivers like to focus. And we've got Crackervelli. Are you with us, Super Cracker? Hey, so how's it going out there? How you feeling out in Le Mans in your NASCAR livery? Nice. How's the race banter been so far on the radio? Has it been quite quiet, or have you been good chatting with each other? I've got to remember that for a good approach to focus is just not have the ability to be taught to. Good one. As we get into the sunrise portion, Crackervelli, talk me through your livery. Very cool, very cool. Well, I enjoy it anyway. But yeah, we'll try and get the charity logo on next time. Go well, Crackervelli. Down in P13 right now. We'll see if we can check in with Bradders. Bradders, you're in the Mercedes AMG out there. How are you doing? Just checking. Have we actually got Bradders in the Discord? I don't think we have. Not on audio right now. No. So that's just going to leave Flying Froome in the very heavily sponsored Hankook design today. Flying Froome, how are you getting on in the Jag? Good. Okay. Yeah, we don't want to catch you in that situation. So yes, you've talk me through your livery today. It's a very smart design. Is it one that you had sort of in the pocket, or was it custom for today? Well, that's how things become iconic, right? So we'll now be calling this the iconic Flying Froome livery. Yeah. It looks like perhaps you won't be vying for the second win here today, but you never know. P10, never say never. Yeah, just unlikely. Well, I hope you're enjoying the sunrise while we're at it anyway. But yeah, big thank you to all of our drivers, especially those who've been able to chat today. Great to hear you live while you're racing. Hopefully I haven't put anybody off too much and you enjoy watching the stream back. So thanks a lot, everybody. I'll duck out now and leave you to it. Well, good to talk to everybody. Hope you enjoyed that one, folks. That was Flying Froome, the last driver we spoke to. Bluebeard leads the race just by 1/4 of a second only to BX Royal. What a time to come back to this lead battle. 2/3 distance have elapsed or will have elapsed at the end of this lap. But we're out here with Bluebeard and BX Royal as we vie for the lead of the race. Once again, Bluebeard using the tyres to a longer effect than the drivers and other drivers, trying to outlast everybody and go one stop fewer. So that's brilliant to see. We've got BX Royal then chasing down Bluebeard. Let's join him in the chase cam, shall we, as we head on through. BX Royal hard on the throttle, tucked up behind Bluebeard here on the way through to Indianapolis. Bluebeard just slightly defensive. Little touch of the curb on the inside line. I don't know if BX Royal will risk it all here down into Indianapolis. No, he's hanging back, trying to wait for an error in front. It's a very risky place to make the pass into Indianapolis, but Arnage might be open too. And we saw him do this move earlier on, force the driver in front to brake too late. Bluebeard did not oblige this time. BX Royal caught between a bump draft option there. But you can see the top speed stalling as he pulls to one side, goes back behind the car in front there just to get that extra few miles an hour. Peels to the inside into the Porsche curves. How brave are you into the Porsche curves? Well, brave enough for Bluebeard, unfortunately, to go off. So that is nice, easy pass for the lead there. And this is how it looked from our trackside camera position. Looking for still the tail lights on, not the brake lights there. As we head down in, looked like he was going to go for it. Forces Bluebeard to brake a little bit later, I think, than he was comfortable doing. Great catch, though, in the end from Bluebeard with the snapping rear of that Ford GT. Unfortunately, though, looks like that's not going to be working out particularly well for him, missing the Ford chicane. Be really careful not to pick up a big time penalty for something like that from Bluebeard. Here as BX Royal gaps him by 3.5 seconds within just 2 sectors of this long Le Mans race circuit. That was Lee Cole, just with a little bit long on the brake, and they're just the tiniest margin of difference between himself and Bluebeard going through the Recordement chicane, the final chicane there, as the Gillison liveried Goose 87 here is hot on the heels of Lee Cole, just under 4 seconds separating them as we're in that daybreak condition. Lap 21 of the 30. Sunrise under the Dunlop bridge there for our racers, as Deco will go through there as well. Quite possibly got the largest Fight Bladder Cancer stickers on the car, has Deco. He has gone all in the charity support here. Here is Jezza, very muted Adidas livery. Let's check this out in more detail, shall we? He is 53 seconds away from the lead of the race at the moment. Anyway, very cool layered sticker and livery design here. Looks to possibly be a Thrustmaster racer. But good to see all the effort our drivers go to for these liveries, with the exception perhaps of Flying Froome, who made sure that that his livery is now iconic. Blue Mosquito just paints everything blue. there, but he has at least gone for the charity sticker on the side. Simple, classic, plain blue for Blue Mosquito. No wings, no biting beak, unless you count that Honda NSX design on the front there. And that's what we're all here for, of course, a fight against bladder cancer, as inaugurated, of course, and organised by JP in memory of his stepdad. Here is JP there himself then in the 22. Oh, there's a little bit of damage on the right rear of the BMW there on the way into the corner. Now in ACC, this BMW is a very enjoyable race car. Quite unpopular, I have to say, the M6. The M4 is a lot more popular and a lot more easy to drive. But this M6 in GT7 you hardly ever see as a race car. Big differences there, of course. Just to remind you then of our qualifying times and our qualifying positions. Currently, JP is one place higher than he qualified. Bradders is significantly further back here. Bradders in P9. Wasn't able to chat with us. Wasn't in the live race chat, unfortunately, to the race radio that we joined. But a big thank you to our drivers there for being generous enough to give us a little bit of the benefit of their experience and their point of view there through the course of the race. I'd half hoped to get some times, some streams up for you, but it did appear as if nobody is actually streaming their positions today. Please, if you can, donate just a small amount to our charitable cause today. Fight Bladder Cancer, very under-supported UK charity. So if you are watching live with us and you haven't given anything yet, please do so. And you can either do that anonymously, of course, or you can announce your generosity. The total move during the course of our race. £1,700 is how things look right now. Bluebeard and Lee Cole are in the pits. Goose passes Lee Cole there for a second. Let's have a look at that situation. Goose has gone by. So Bluebeard down to third, lap 22. We'll be going for a set of hard tyres and a full tank of fuel here, potentially. Finish out our race. Is that a possibility for Bluebeard? Losing time to the leader, of course, while he's stationary. Deco goes by. Drivers stopping now. I wonder if they are giving consideration to making this their final stop. Picking up places, hoping for some clear air when they rejoin the race, as we see. This is Bradders in the Mercedes, flying from in the Jaguar, of course. Jaguar that he has apparently, the livery he has used for many years, 4 previous years here. Having already won this famous race once, flying from. Behind him, we've got Reese in the Ferrari 296 in the Cherry Blossom. Haven't actually given that its dues today so far. Here it is. It's Hello Kitty Racing in the Japanese-inspired iconography there. Very smart. Big Fight Bladder Cancer sticker on the roof. Racing under the 37 number. It's a very interesting cabin, actually, and cockpit area, this 296. Can't see it particularly well from this camera angle, but in VR, it's a fabulous looking car, and we should get the 296 rear window cutout you can see, or etching at least, on the rear there of the 296 as well. Really good looking machine. Oh dear, that's Frankie into the pit wall, unfortunately. Let's see how that worked out. It's easy to overcook on the way through here. The rumble strips on the outside there of the Estel karting, through past my Maison Blanche, heading in. Absolutely full lick and then into the barrier. That will be a lick of damage on the car, unfortunately. Certainly some visual damage. Cracavelli looks like he stopped on. No, that's me. That's me playing the replay. Cracavelli is A-OK. My apologies. There he is. He's fine in P13. Frankie in the pits. Some repairs being actioned, but not to that crinkled front nose, unfortunately for him. Lap 22 has been started at least here. Do want to check in with Bluebeard. He's got onto the medium tyres for what will be 8 complete racing laps. That's a big ask, but he's going to try, I'm sure. Deco in P3 here has a penalty to pay. Just half a second off throttle for Deco to pay here. We've got Goose in P2. This is the Toyota Supra. Still with that windscreen wiper on. I forgot to ask Goose why his windscreen wipers are on. A very Japanese looking livery as well in the 87 here. Illusion on the side of the car. Not quite sure what that is in reference to. Of course, there's a goose on the back. Very cool looking Toyota Supra in the end there. Goose in P2 then, 28 seconds away from BX Royal, who's on a similar strategy. No mistaking that engine sound of the Honda NSX. Passing by, of course, they had to change the flip-up headlight design on the bonnet to allow for GT racing. Couldn't really have pop-up headlights in a GT car. And the Alpha 4C. No one has been able, I think, to get around unscathed. Their bodywork all looking a little bit battle worn and tested here in the race today. Here is Bluebeard in P4. Looks like the medium's not quite up to temperature on the rear just yet. Let's have a closer look at the Bluebeard livery. We've got level best plastering and decorating. Obviously looking to keep his car as smooth as possible then. And he's got Black Flag Racing on the car there as well. I don't think it's Black Flag Racing that I commentate over the Black Flag race. That Black Flag Racing. It's a different logo for Black Flag, but certainly a popular league name anyway, or team name. What have we got on the back window there? I can't quite make it out. Does it just say Bluebeard, sorry, on the back window? I think it does. So it's a yellow, orange, black, and white combination. Looks like a Celebration McLaren livery, but in a Ford GT. Very sweet. Lee Cole in the 5th position. He's rocking the Skechers black and Dayglow orange, Dayglow yellow livery, of course. In the Audi R8. Already looking forward to the next Audi GT3 car, as you heard on the race radio there. Lap 23 of the 30. Lee Cole, P5. I think a top 5 would represent really successful race despite earlier struggles. Blue Mosquito in 6th. He's only 1 minute 20 away from the outright lead of the race. Anything could still happen. We could get rain, but more importantly, we could get mechanical failures for the drivers that can upset the balance, as well as losing focus in this final 5th thereabouts of the race. You often see drivers making errors towards the end of long periods of racing. No driver swaps, of course. They've had to do this entire race start to finish. Here's JP in 9th place. I think he'd be happy with a top 10 here in his own race. Doesn't consider himself a particularly elite racer, but keeping pace with everybody. I guess staying on the lead lap would be the target here. 2 minutes 27 is his gap to BX Royal. We've got Bradders passing by at full throttle in P6. Check back in with our leader. That's BX Royal. 29.2 seconds ahead of Goose. But he will be stopping again, possibly the end of the next lap or the one after that, to bring the car home. 25% of fuel, maybe 24% of fuel left on the NSX. So he'll just obviously only need to stop for a certain amount of fuel, not a full tank to finish the race, I don't imagine. Because we're racing to a fixed lap point. The drivers do get a guide when they make a pit stop as to how much fuel they need relative to their average run so far. Wow, that was wide from Deco. Big slide to the outside there. Understeer through the Porsche curves. Really leaning on the outside tyres. You can see the Alfa Romeo 4C just struggling to hold on for him. Into the Ford chicane we go now. He is 48.6 seconds now. I think it was Bluebeard who said that the time deficit in the pits is about a minute. It will be less than that in the final pit stops. The deeper we get into the race before the drivers elect to pit, lap 24, we are knocking on the door of a medium tyre comfortable run to the flag now, especially on a lower amount of fuel. What can Bluebeard do, though, to hold on to his tyres and maybe bring himself into podium contention here by the end of the running of this race? Hard tyres are on for Leco, but he does not have enough fuel to get him home. So he will have to stop possibly for a short amount of fuel and a set of soft tyres maybe to have some fun in the late morning sunshine here in northern France. Blue Mosquito, likewise, similar situation to Lee Cole, having to set that extra time. Flying through, medium tyres, probably the lowest fuel we've seen so far at this stage. Maybe got a couple of Le Mans length laps left in the Jaguar. He would save fuel if he took the golf clubs out of the boot, but unfortunately you can't do that in a Jaguar. You can only take them out and put them back in at a golf course in a Jag. Jezza in the Porsche looks set with fuel and tyres to the end of the race, using the hard tyres, just over half a tank of fuel left, starting of lap 24 for Jezza. That's JP. Soft tyres right now, plenty of bugs on the windscreen. Finishing out this lap, he'll be going for another one only, I believe. Bradders, medium tyres, set for the end. He's got a 2.5 minute deficit to the leader, but only 3.7 seconds to JP. Bradders could still unlock some of that qualifying pace at the end of this race and do his best then to try and feature a couple places higher up than he currently is in 10th. And we have Reese then in the Hello Kitty Racing Ferrari 296. He is going to have a bit of a struggle lap here, Reese, I think, on those tyres. For the time being, at least, it looks like we are going to not have any rain. I'm very sorry to say, because that would be super fun. Little flash of the headlights from Frankie as he goes through the Dunlop section of the racetrack. No. The Estukarting it was, and in towards the Ford and Raccormont chicane. Oh yeah, we love the sound of the Aston Martin. Let's go back to this camera. I haven't ridden this camera for some time now. He is using the Arrow Mercedes, the Arrow McLaren race suit. BX Royal pits then from the lead of the race for his final pit stop, bang on time for a 6-lap stint for the end of the race. Looks like he's divided this neatly into 5 sets of 6-lap stints. We know that our former leader, Bluebeard, is running a different strategy. Goose in as well. Wonder if we'll see Deco in through the end of this 24th lap. Bluebeard. I was surprised to see the mediums go on, but such is the option that he considers to be best right now for this stint. The mediums went on with 8 laps to go in the race. So can his mediums run those full 8 laps, I wonder? I think he's fine with fuel. How many places does he make up while the drivers are pitting? He's not going to catch BX Royal, who's already out of the pit lane on the hard tyres for the final 6 racing laps for him. Here comes Bluebeard to pass drivers in the pit lane. Yes, he's made that happen. We'll just confirm as they come through. Yeah, very comfortably in front. Goose still in the pit lane. Deco just stopping right now. So Bluebeard into second place. Medium tyres for him, but they are on a bit of a conservation run to the end. BX Royal has put the hard tyres on. Won't be as fast, but looks like we're not going to see BX Royal run the softs unless it's for the final lap or two. He's got a bit of a spare pit stop there. Hasn't put as much fuel in the NSX as Bluebeard has on currently. Is that a miscalculation, or is he deliberately saving a final 2 laps on the soft tyres for one hot lap in the sunshine on the soft tyres with light fuel, I wonder? That would be a popular decision, I'm sure. In fact, you can see that Bluebeard can actually see, well, I thought he could see BX Royal in front. I think he probably can down this Mulsanne straight. Certainly from the trackside camera, we could see his challenger in front. Yeah, maybe not. Maybe not. From his point of view, it's actually difficult to see. .5 seconds is the gap in front. BX Royal seemingly has not yet lapped our rearmost driver. That's Crackavelli here in the number 13 00 NASCAR livery. So 30 seconds he needs to hold off to stay on the lead lap here after 30 racing laps at Le Mans, hoping for 2.4 hours nice and neatly. Yeah. But yes, the 30 racing laps should see us nearish to that 2.4 hours. Unfortunately, we can't actually select, I don't believe, 2.4 hours as our race time. That would be cool if we could. 25 seconds just about BX Royal's lead over Bluebeard. Bluebeard has himself a 9.6 second lead over Goose. Goose, that's catchable for Goose. He has slightly less fuel on board. He has brand new hard tyres, so Goose can push aggressively here on his lap times relative to Bluebeard, who's probably taking care of his tyres. Low 404s for the last 3 laps there from Goose prior to his pit stop. Fantastic consistency this deep into a race. We've got Deco. He has now made that final pit stop. He's gone to the hard tyres too. Lee-Cole. Perhaps he's overfueled, Lee-Cole. There's almost a full tank of fuel went in with the medium tyres with just 6 laps to go. Looks like Jezza will scrape home on the fuel. Blue Mosquito, a little bit similar to Lee-Cole, has put a full tank of fuel in with medium tyres. As we've got Bradders here. He's got a job to do to get these medium tyres home safely, I think. Flying through. Full tank of fuel. Now, sometimes the drivers, you have to go for a comfort break during a pit stop. And by default, the car will fully fuel if you are out of the seat. JP has also fully fueled the BMW M6 to a finish here. We have Free in P11. 1.5 seconds penalty off throttle. He will suffer, unfortunately, Frankie. He's also being caught here by Reese. I think we'll see an overtake as a result of that penalty, if not before. Frankie, old medium tyres. Reese, brand new softs, but they can't possibly do another 5 complete racing laps, can they? The soft tyres. So Reese, knocking on the door of a top 10 finish. He should be able to see from his perspective here that the car in front has a penalty of 1.5 seconds. So he may not feel like the need to actually make an overtake prior to the penalty point. The chevrons between Arnage and the Porsche curves. Underneath the Rolex sign, then passing the golf club on their left. Top speed 2 or 3 miles an hour faster for Reese in the slipstream here. Soft tire traction will be helping that too. Oh, that's way wide then, unfortunately for Frankie. Possibly checking his mirrors out there as the car behind was catching in the slipstream there. And as we head into Indianapolis, it's so difficult to get the car to settle down, especially if you use that curb. Just pretty much the wrong gear on the way into the corner, unfortunately. Slight slip up, but it's the kind of thing we'll see as drivers get deeper and deeper into this race. So BX Royal then now 27.3 seconds ahead. I said, still don't think he's used the soft tyres, but we will see if he goes for it at the end here. Bluebeard's just given himself a half-second penalty for track limits, so he'll be paying that off in a few moments' time. We've got Goose in third in that iconic Supra. It almost looked like the dive planes on the front wheel arches were lighting up there in the sunshine. Very cool. Deco in P4, hard tyres, all good to the end of the race. This is Lee Cole. He's got a half-second penalty to pay. Jezza in the Porsche behind him does not. So I don't think that will see Jezza get by, but it will certainly make Lee Cole a little bit nervous here. Jezza has very little fuel left. Just 1/4 of a tank, just under 1/4 of a tank in the Porsche here to see the race out. But he has been on these hard tyres a fair amount of the time. See, some drivers have been super careful with the amount of fuel that they're using, sticking to a stint plan. Kind of looks to me like Jezza has just decided, I'm going to just run the car from full to empty every time and see where I am at the end of the race. Hope to still be in the mix by the checkered flag. And this Porsche, a lot of fun on board the Porsche. Not quite as sweet sounding as it is in ACC, but it's still a hell of a lot of fun. Through the course of 2026, I've become a pretty big Porsche fan. I really wasn't before, but I've definitely been bitten by the Porsche bug. And the car in front will slow slightly now, but not enough to make a pass, but certainly enough to bring him closer. That gap is dropping, 2.3, 2.2, probably 2.1 or 2.0 even by the time they get towards the Porsche curves. And the momentum loss is nullified. Rear tyres complaining slightly from Jezza. Have to get used to that in a Porsche. Oversteer all the time, opposite lock. But I'm concerned about Jezza's fuel. I don't think this Porsche is going to make the end of the race on this fuel. Lap 26 of the 30. We'll see what he elects to do here. We go into the pits this time, go around for one more tour, and then have a short run on the softs. Certainly be a fun way to switch back on and enjoy the end of the race. Blue Mosquito running wide through the Estor karting. Virage du Pont, Estor karting, past the Maison Blanche, down towards the Ford chicane we go. I should say Virage Ford. This is Bradders in pursuit. He's only 8 seconds away from Mosquito. 4 seconds his gap to Flying Through behind there with the slight crinkling on the front of his Jaguar. Looking very good out there. Our race cars for this GT3, 2.4 hours of Le Mans for Fight Bladder Cancer. Just got a couple laps left now, guys. If you want to get your gift made to our charity, the Just Giving page is linked in the description of this video on the channel today, on my channel here. So do give something, at least test out when I've built this live total as well. That's what we want to see, is if we want to see it scrolling upward. But don't forget to give something today if you possibly can. It's an amazing total that's been raised so far, £1,700. So let's try and add to that if we can. Supporting JP's chosen charity. Into the pit lane then comes Reese. Those soft tyres certainly didn't last, and they hardly lasted long enough to get into the pit lane itself. Let's have a look at that as he had a slightly code brown moment there on the way into the pits. A bit of a tank slapper going on as he turns in. One of the few pit lanes here in Gran Turismo 7 that you actually have to slow down for. Completely lock the rears. Well, in the end, he got through a-okay, but that was a tight one for Reese, unfortunately. Let's go back then to the drivers near the front. We have BX Royal. Does not have enough fuel for the end of the race here. BX is going to give us a bit of entertainment coming in. I know JP shared a couple of years ago when we had a three-way battle on the final lap of the race. Doesn't look like it's going to go that way, but Bluebeard is treating these mediums super gently. BX Royal into the pit lane then for a nice, quick, soft tyre run, and possibly going for a new fastest lap of the race as well. Check him out very soon once he's got his outlap done. Fully expect to see the soft tyres for BX Royal now. But it will be tight between himself and Bluebeard. The pit lane won't have to stop for very long to refuel. Through the final chicane goes Bluebeard. Tyres just only going on for BX Royal. The fuel hasn't even been added yet. Definitely needs some fuel here. So Bluebeard is going to, for sure, pass BX Royal. Goose in as well. End of lap 27, start of lap 28. Bluebeard leads the race. BX Royal comes out of the pit lane. A gap of 8.235 seconds between himself and Bluebeard, with, well, just under three racing laps left to run. That's quite a big gap over a normal lap length. This, of course, is the Le Mans, so it is 4-minute laps. We are looking at a significantly longer race there than perhaps you would normally expect. So it's not quite as difficult a task potentially. This is BX Royal then. He'll be happy to probably, I would imagine, see his quarry in front. 7.3 seconds. He can see him from his seated position there for BX Royal. So still lots to fight for. We'll go and follow his action as he bids for a sub 4-minute lap. Was the challenge that we tried to set in there on the chat around lap 18 to 20. We talked to our drivers. I'm very happy to have done that as well. Goose in P3 comes through. He is 49 seconds away from Bluebeard. It's definitely going to be between Bluebeard and BX Royal if their connection remains stable and their equipment holds on for them. We can get terrible situations with hardware overheating deep into a race. So it's definitely something that the drivers have to mitigate against. Keep their CU nice and clean inside the PS5. Keep the airflow. Don't do what I do and keep the PS5 in a cupboard. There is Flying Through off onto the grass on the approach through Tertre Rouge onto the Mulsanne straight. An outlap currently for Jezza. Similar strategy there to BX Royal. Using every bit of the racetrack through Tertre Rouge as well. Nice to see. Surprisingly slow, this section of the racetrack, this Descente de la Chapelle and the S de Tertre Rouge before heading into the Virage du Tertre Rouge. This is the S. And then we try and clip the inside curb, kind of straddle it because it's not very high. Get on the throttle, stay on the blue and yellow curbs there on the exit, and you're golden. And JP does exactly that. There's Reese, P11. In the 296, we've got Frankie in P12 over those rumble strips again. Very wide. I think race control allows that because no, they don't allow that. It was too much throttle out on the rumble strips, and a half-second penalty has been given. Cracavelli in the 00. And we have Bluebeard then. His gap of 8 seconds has dropped to 5.7 here to BX Royal. Bluebeard leads the race by just 5.2 now. Oh, he's a tight on the fuel. The fuel's just gone red, and we have another 2 laps left to run. Can he make it? No. That was a quick answer to a much posed question. Unfortunately, Bluebeard has gone in, so denying us the chance to enjoy at least an attempt of an overtake. But I think losing the ability to follow on this then is BX Royal and his bid in optimal conditions to try and get him into the sub 4 minute mark. He's 1.6 seconds away from that at the moment as he downshifts there. It looks like a sequential shifter in the NSX. I believe it is. Always love a sequential shifter, mate. I don't know. It might be that he's changing onto an H pattern. I can't quite see if I press back too much. Weird angle of the gear shifter. He's gained 0.6 of a second already through sector 1 of the race track. Yeah, I think there's a pullback sequential thing happening there on the shifter. Very cool. Always like that because I used to watch British touring cars back in the day, and the sequential shifters just always seemed like they were really going for it, like the rally cars. Oh, that's a half-second penalty, but he is still up. He's nearly 0.4 up, but I don't think this lap is going to be the one for BX Royal. To be taking that penalty. Brad is in the pits on the start of his 29th lap. Just checking where our rearmost driver is. There he is, Cracavelli, P13. Seems catchable from BX Royal. Behind him, you can see BX Royal can actually see him. Give him a nice target here. It'll save Cracavelli a racing lap if he can hang on. No further increase on the delta there for BX Royal. I think it might be the next lap he goes for it. One more chance. I think he was saying that the softs will have to hold on for a second hot lap if he's able to get into the 3 minute, sub 4 minute mark. The number 57. I always think race car 57 must always be sponsored by Heinz. Just very equitable here this lap with his ultimate best of 4:01.650, with the exception of the start there. But he's going to lose time coming in to the end. Just a couple laps away now, folks, from a famous victory. Victory number 2 in the annual 2.4 hours of Le Mans for Fight Bladder Cancer. Last chance to give some money to our giving page, but the total on the screen will tick over. Goose in P3 44 seconds away from BX Royal. Bluebeard's pit stop. He'll have one run at a fast lap. Sounds like he didn't feel confident in his outright speed, but in his strategy, very confident there. I was hoping he would get home, but I think he hadn't used the soft tyres anyway, so he has to use those soft tyres, trying to save a pit stop. But he's put himself in second place. A fantastic opportunity here, given that he qualified in P5 with a 4:06.5. I think he's been faster than that for 3 consecutive laps. Lap 23, 4, and 25. He's been faster than that already, than his pole position time. It's kind of what I do. my qualifying tends to be a bit poor, and then I just get better the more time I spend on the track in race trim, in getting into a rhythm. So those were your qualifying results there. You can see to what degree the race has changed shape. The final lap begins for BX Royal. Even if, yes, if he passes Craccavelli, he will foreshorten the race by 1 for Craccavelli, of course. And we'll see what BX Royal can do this time. Needs to stay within those track limits while pushing on these soft tyres that are way past their best now, but he is on the minimum fuel. The fastest outright, a 4:01.561. He still did better that lap by just about 1/10 of a second on the last run, but he took a penalty on that lap. Was that over the line? I think it's okay on the curb for BX Royal. He'd even get a toe on this lap as well. It's going to help no end. We'll see if he gets that toe down both sections of the Mulsanne, and it doesn't hold him up here on the run to the flag. There you see all the dust and the dirt on the car. Should get some bugs on the windscreen as well. Yeah, and he won't get held up in the first chicane. Here he is on board BX Royal. Oh, he's slower. He's slower on this lap, unfortunately. So that the tyres are not able to do much. He gives Craccavelli a little NASCAR style bump draft. I don't know how much he'll be enjoying that one, Craccavelli, at this late stage of the race. But here he comes then. Makes the pass nice and easy in the end through the second chicane. And the soft tyres for the final 3 laps of the race for BX Royal. Time update there. It's not another purple. Unfortunately, those tyres have not held on, sadly. BX Royal started at the back, qualified on pole. I think voluntarily went for a last to first challenge. Going for the first multi-winner of the Fight Bladder Cancer 2.4 hours of Le Mans. Underneath the Rolex sign again. But it really has been a very, very impressive display so far. Deco is 2 seconds only away from Lecole up front. There in P4. Deco chasing him down. Good to see the cars nice together. There's BX Royal, 0.6 of a second off his absolute best. Blue Mosquito in 6th. We've got Flying Froome in 7th. Jezza in 8th. Bradder's in 9th place. And JP, our race organizer, in P10. Reese in 11th, Frankie in 12th. Craccavelli in 13th has just been passed by our race leader, BX Royal there. In the classic Honda NSX GT3 car with the engine cooling scoop on the rear window. Porsche curves there. Now he's gone faster. Now he gets into the Porsche curves. He's taking everything out of the tires. He's looking to try and get a sub 4 minute. I don't think that's on, but I think he could potentially get another new fastest lap beneath a 4:01 anyway. Seems to be on target. 2 more chicanes to go for BX Royal. It was a last to first self-imposed challenge, and I think he's going to do it with 35 seconds to spare, over 30 racing laps. BX Royal wins the 2.4 hours of Le Mans. Doesn't quite get a sub 4 minute 1 second, but a 4:01.203 for BX Royal. 35 seconds in front of the next nearest chaser. That is Bluebeard coming through out of the Estor karting, passing the Maison Blanche and down towards the Ford chicane. Fabulous long stint race. Really good strategy option here from Bluebeard. Patience on the hard tires. Turning the engine down and short shifting when he needed to. He's come home and he's taken the second place on the road. So fantastic, with a personal best time as well. That lap of 4:03.368 from Bluebeard. Goose comes through to complete our racing podium with a bit of a spinala there on the line. Goose home in P3. Great result for Goose. Then comes Lecol, who's trying to hold on ahead of Deco. And see, looks like the 94 will complete it. Yellow beats orange. Lecol in 4th, Deco in 5th. And next up, we'll have Blue Mosquito to finish this out. I believe Cracavelli has already finished the race, being a lap down on our leader, BX Royal. The only car to be lapped by just the leader as well. So it was a very competitive 30-lap race around Le Mans. There goes Blue Mosquito into 6th place, shortly followed by the other blue car on the grid. It's Flying Froome in P7, rounding that red giant curb on the Virage du Raccourement. Over the line then to come home in P7 for Flying Froome. Jezza, not far away at all. Plenty of bugs on his windshield. Jezza home in P8. And Bradders, tail runners pretty close to one another here, which is good to see. Nice close midfield. Bradders home 2 minutes and 6 from the lead, but Bradders home in 9th. Not the race perhaps he was hoping for, qualifying in 2nd position, Bradders, but still a fantastic effort from all of our racers here. JP home to complete his race out into the chicane. Not far to go now. The final chicane looms. And JP finishes his own race then down in 10th place for the 22 in the BMW M6. Great result, great performance. Frankie is in the Aston Martin. We can just about recognize it as an Aston Martin. Frankie has done his best to need new panels all the way around the car, but Frankie will come home in P11. Reese in 12th, who's not going to finish the race. He's just having a bit of fun there. Reese home in 12th, not last, is the reason for the donuts. And Cracavelli finished in the final paying position. Well, there you go. Fantastic performance from BX Royal. Another fantastic race for you. And our race results then. That's a UK top 8. It's BX Royal, Bluebeard and Goose on the podium. Lecol and Deco 4th and 5th, with Blue Mosquito, Flying Froome and Jezza rounding out the top 8. Bradders and JP make it an all-British top 10, with Frankie in the middle there between himself and Reese in 12th. Cracavelli, our American racer, in P13. But I hope you've all enjoyed that today. Please give generously if you can to our good cause for the race. But it's such a great pleasure to have raised already £1,700 at time of broadcast. Big thanks to everyone who has taken the time to watch and enjoy the race with us today. My name is Webbo. You can catch me at Webbo Red 5 and also on League Racing TV. But from me, Webbo, from us here at the Fight Bladder Cancer 2.4 hours of Le Mans, thank you so much for watching, and we will catch you on the next race day.